All right, we're in it. We're live. Back here for one shining recap show. Um, a little bit dated, late at this point. But we're late starting tonight because we were having a hell of a discussion of over Lane Kiffin and the college football sagas that have been going on over the weekend. Been quite the entertainment. Um, and also Jacob fell asleep on us, so no Jacob tonight, unfortunately. It'll just be me and Matt holding it down. But Matt, you're I know you're still celebrating Lane Kiffin over there for the 3 or 4 years you'll have him at LSU. So, but should be a fun time nevertheless. But yeah, we just got to watch Drake May do it again. So, all that being said, how you doing tonight, man?
Not bad. The Patriots won 10 in a row. Um, yeah, exciting times. One of the crazier college football weekends in recent memory. So, um, yeah, tie in some decent basketball there. But yeah, college sports are going crazy. So, fun
Yeah.
times.
Um, do we have confirmation that Marty Smith made it home?
Well, we have confirmation that Marty Smith made it to some airport in Oxford that he was able to fly home out of. I don't know if he will be. I know they do Marty McGee on Saturdays on SEC Network. I don't know. He might not have to be put to work until until then for the SEC championship game. So we'll see. But yeah, that man
Marty and McGee
deserves
is
a
going
good
to be
week off.
must watch next weekend.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, the Marty Smith hostage situation is over.
yeah.
Um, yeah, but a lot of college football teams, my team included, Matt's team included, have new coaches. Penn State is not one of them. Amazingly, even though they were the first job to open, um, they are pretty much the last job standing without a coach. Um, yeah, we could go on about that stuff all day.
Yeah, that could be another show in itself. Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds like an untitled college football program that needs to happen.
Yeah, you would think. Yeah, very much so.
Yeah. But yeah, we can talk some basketball too. Wow, it was such a wild weekend that it feels like all the basketball just got like buried in all of this. Like,
Oh, it absolutely did. I
or-
mean, it was jarring. It was a like just today, basically the I don't know if you caught any fine bomb, but it was fantastic. It was awesome. And then
if I
today
call it
the
what?
any fine bomb today,
Oh
um,
no,
because that was spectacular. And
was it Ole Miss fans? Like who was
Oh, it was
lighting it up?
everyone. It was Bama fans celebrating the Iron Bowl, and then Auburn fans celebrating the goalish hire, and then Bama fans getting mad at the Auburn fans for celebrating the goalish hire, and then Ole Miss fans, LSU fans, Georgia fans. Yeah, everyone was getting in on it. Florida fans were not happy. So yeah, it was a good day for Feinbaum, I'm sure. There, in what I watched. And yeah, just today, just the jarring reaction from Penn State fans that I would say most of them do not know who Kalani Sitake is, and they now have to learn uh, who this guy is, and they're like, "What is happening?" So that's one where I think both fan bases are going to be feeling pretty weird about that one if that one gets finalized here. If the BYU donors and the full court press they're putting on to keep him does not work. So that'll be a crazy one for sure.
Get ready to learn Joseph Smith, buddy.
Well, that's actually what we were talking about. Like how is he gonna go into inner city Philadelphia and like recruit like some of those guys because he's never had to do that really, and now that's gonna be a new challenge for him. But hey, the people at Ohio State, Brian Hartline, probably very excited because that gives them bit of a leg up in recruiting, considering James Franklin has taken everyone who was supposed to be going to Penn State. So, yeah, really not a good season in now, not a good offseason for Penn State in the least.
I'm like, who is like National Signing Day is Wednesday.
Wednesday,
Like,
yeah.
what is like who's making these like who's in charge of any like is it Terry or who's handling that at Penn State right now?
It probably is Terry. Terry was pretty active in recruiting before this happened. He was one of the better recruiters on the staff, because Jim Knowles was new, so he was pretty much the veteran of the defensive staff. So he did a ton of recruiting before any of this happened. So I would assume he's going to be the face of that still. They really have nobody remaining of note who's sticking around and signing. So whoever takes that job is going into a very bare roster situation that they are going to have to rebuild pretty fast. So yeah, that's going to be a tough one for someone. But yeah, it's going to be a pretty quiet signing day for Penn State on Wednesday. Very active one for Virginia Tech. Yeah.
My God, like, dude, I was at the Iron Bowl too. Like, it's like we both got new coaches. It's like trying to get back into basketball mode to do this show was like quite a shift because like I love college basketball, but like I'd be lying if I didn't say like it is certain. I mean, especially because like really after what like Friday we had UConn Illinois, and then it was pretty much like dormant the entire weekend in college basketball. So
Thursday
I
and
was like,
Friday were the best days, and then pretty much cleared up for the college football slate to take over. And yeah, it's crazy. Just nothing like college sports, and yeah, wild stuff there. So
it reminds me of the fact like we make fun of the AP poll, like
yeah,
in like how AP voters are like football people and they don't even pay attention. Like this week that had to be maximized. They're probably like, what? Like
yeah,
the basketball thing? Like what? Okay, like
yeah. They're probably like, I'll take a week off.
yeah, there are probably a lot of ballots that didn't get submitted in time.
Yeah,
Oh my God, what a crazy weekend in college football. And like I said, it made it like really hard to even do this because I was like, I had to go back and like, it has been a fucking insane weekend. Like,
yeah,
this has been an all time coaching carousel rivalry week in college football, and like, yeah, but we shall go back and talk some basketball because this is a basketball show, and I think there's no better. So we left off Tuesday night. So there's no better place to start, even though it's kind of old news at this point. But Michigan absolutely kicked the shit out of Gonzaga in the Players Era Championship. It was, and I was kind of down in the dumps after Auburn's loss to Michigan last time we did a show on Tuesday night, and uh, I guess that doesn't matter any like feel a lot better about that one after they go and beat Gonzaga by 40. You're like, okay, maybe Michigan's just a really good team. And we were wondering about some of Michigan's struggles at the start of the year, and they were kind of like messing around with teams that they shouldn't be messing around with. And they got to Vegas and they figured it out. uh, they figured it out in a strong way. It was a 101-61. This like just an absolute destruction of Gonzaga in this one. Yaxel finally looked like himself and had 20 and 11. Like they finally got him going. Namari Burnett couldn't miss. It was just an all out beatdown by Michigan here. Gonzaga was a team last time we were on here. We were talking about winning a national championship and still feel like they could go do that. But it's like, whew, you go and lose by 40. It doesn't matter who it's to. Like, you're going to be asking some questions. And it was just not a good night for the Zags. Like, Graham Ike was horrible in this game. Finished with 1 point, 0 for 9 from the field. Braden Huff had 14, 7 for 17 from a field. They went 3 for 22 from three as a unit. Um, just an all around like wow. I don't even know what else to say about this one other than just an absolute destruction. And if you had any doubts about Michigan, if this is a team that can go win a national championship and a Big Ten championship, they were by far the clear, far and away winners of Feast Week. Obviously, winners of the Players era, and that's a team where I mean, I think the first net rankings came out today. They're number one in the net rankings.
Rightly
Um,
so. Yeah.
yeah, and probably a lot of people's national champion favorite now coming out of Feast Week. I mean, I don't know how you go and like Auburn lost by 30, and that was the closest loss any team had to Michigan last week in Vegas. Uh, for reference. So yay for Auburn. We played Michigan closer than anybody else did. That's something to hold your head up about, right? Yeah, it's of all the scenarios in this game, like because I mean we were talking about it Tuesday night, and you said like you were expecting Gonzaga to be favored by like 5.5, and it ended up coming out Gonzaga was 1.5 point favorite coming into this game, and uh, I actually bet Gonzaga in this one. That was a mistake. That was at least it wasn't a bad loss or anything. That one won't be on bad beats.
Yeah.
But wow, I was like this is like it was so long ago at this point, but kind of like reliving it, like watching it in my head now and going back through and looking at the box score, I'm just like just a result nobody saw coming. But so yeah, Michigan is a problem. I imagine you're going to have a lot of the same takeaways because I don't know what else there is to even add about this, but uh, definitely a result that nobody saw. Not Michigan winning. I don't think that's a surprise to anybody, but by 40. Wow. So what do you think of this one other than just holy shit?
Yeah. It's one. Just Gonzaga played very, very poorly. I think that needs to be stated, and most of that is because of what Michigan was doing against them. Everything that they were doing was working. They could not miss. It was fun to watch, frankly. Gonzaga's an old veteran team. There are no like Saint Super is the only one who's really young on that roster. The rest of them are like battle tested grown men, and I thought that Gonzaga was going to be further along than Michigan was. Michigan, I was not particularly impressed going into the players there with the way they had been playing up until that. They had, that was a team that barely squeaked by Wake Forest in overtime, and seemed as if they still had kind of a ways to go in terms of finding their identity and what kind of team they were going to be. They got to the players there, they kind of changed a few things, and it was wraps. So for them, just really impressive job there by Dusty May to refocus them, kind of get them. They were a little faster in how they played. They got their athletes out, running a bit more, and just like they just are long and athletic. They don't run out of guys on the bench either. They're a really deep team. I think for Yaxel, they wanted they had him playing a little more spaced out in the first few games, and then in that Gonzaga game, they were just like, dude, just go dominate down low, and he did. Like he had Graham Ike in a torture chamber. Like Graham Ike could not score.
They started using him like a big last week
Yeah,
and like putting him in like it's a roster full of bigs. Like they have so much size on that roster that it's like, and I mean, of all their bigs, like Yaxel's kind of on the smaller end of that. So naturally, like you end up
yeah,
in a situation where he's playing three and playing in space, like you said a lot. And it's like, and they like reevaluated as a team going into Vegas last week. Like, okay, like we're just gonna use this guy like a big. We're gonna put him in the paint. Like he's our most uh
he's
skilled
the best
player,
rebounder.
obviously. Our
He's the
most
best rebounder
yeah,
they have, and he was one of the best rebounders in the country a year ago. If you looked at his rebounding numbers, they weren't like anything what they were when he was at UAB. Obviously, he had his usage rate was much higher, and they need him around the basket more. But yeah, this Michigan team finally just kind of decided to give him a little more freedom to just kind of roam inside, and he was a tough matchup, and he's a really versatile player. And yeah, Gonzaga just didn't have an answer for him at all. They didn't really have an answer for anything. But yeah, Michigan couldn't miss. They just took a lot of like higher volume threes than what I was expecting going into that game, and they made most of them. So yeah, really impressed with. I don't feel worse about Gonzaga. I don't really feel like any more down on their chances as a team. I do think now that Michigan has kind of separated themselves from anyone that we've seen to this point. Like Arizona, I think has the best wins. I think in terms, if we were to speak in like a 4-team college football playoff generality kind of thing, I think Arizona would have the best resume of any team. But I do think that Michigan has been the most dominant and kind of separated themselves as, I would say, like, the best team to this point in the country. And just because the way, since they got to Vegas, they've been torching everyone. Like, no one's had a chance. And yeah, I'll be interested to see how it unfolds in conference play, because the Big Ten was kind of a conference that, like, okay, well, we went into the season being like, okay, who's playing for second? Like, who's going to be playing for second, because we've already kind of given the Big Ten title to Purdue. Now you have Michigan State, who is good enough that I don't think it would shock anyone if they won the Big Ten. And then you have Michigan, who has been a fucking buzzsaw and nuclear force to this point now, where they have one of the 10 best coaches in college basketball, and pair that with the athletes and the talent that they have now. It's a national title contender. And I think it's fair to say that, like, I would probably favor Michigan over Purdue on a neutral court today if they were to play against each other.
I don't know how you couldn't. You probably
Yeah.
favor Michigan over anybody right now, like
Yeah.
with how they played in Vegas. It'd be hard not to. I mean, because Gonzaga is a team we viewed as like one of the best teams in the country, and they went and beat them by fucking 40. So like,
Yeah.
it'd be hard not to favor Michigan over anybody after that.
Yeah.
And it's just in general, it speaks to, like, and you brought up Michigan State, and we'll get to that game from Thanksgiving in a little bit. But like Michigan is, or like, just like the Big Ten is the SEC of this year in college basketball. The Big Ten is loaded. They're gonna get like 12, 13 teams in the NCAA tournament at this point.
Probably
Like
12. Yeah. Seeming
like
around that number.
like the Big Ten is just like clearly, and obviously like Michigan was like the leader of that, but I think through like the first month or so of the season, like the Big Ten has established itself as the best conference in college basketball right now, and it's I don't know how anybody could argue with that. Like the SEC is clearly like not at the same level it was last year, and like I think the pecking order right now would clearly go like Big Ten, Big 12. Might even put the ACC over the SEC with how the SEC looks right now. I don't know if that's too far.
Juf will dispute heavily. We talked about this for a while, how he thinks the Big 12 is back on top. He thinks that they're the best conference in the country.
I think it's the Big Ten right now.
Yeah. So you will find someone out there who will dispute it.
Of course he will, but
yeah, I think the most important part of this, I think this is significant because I think there have been some years where the Big Ten's been really good. And I think that they, some years they've had multiple 1 seeds. They have had teams that had potential to go really deep into the tournament. But most of these years, the knock on them has, there have been years where they've had 9 tournament teams. 0 make the Sweet 16. They haven't won a national championship since 2000. So I think this year, I would say it's probably the first year since maybe like when Ohio State had Jared Sullinger in his freshman year, that you really feel like the Big Ten has like that kind of unstoppable force ish team with that Michigan team. Like I think with Purdue, it's a different element of how they play, and I don't think they're nearly the team that Michigan is on defense. So I think it's a little different in that sense. So I think it's significant for the Big Ten to have like
The
what
thing
most would
where
identify as the clear favorite for a title today.
Purdue has one thing that like a lot of these teams that are going to play Michigan just don't, and it's like Purdue does have like they have the bigs and have that size to go toe to toe with Michigan, and that's where like at Purdue like you had to feel comfortable like when they play and like whenever you run into Michigan that like there just aren't a lot of teams in the nation that have that kind of size and those bigs, and Purdue does have that, so like Purdue's not going to get just like tossed around and like little broed by Michigan and their size. Like we've seen some of these other
Well, I
teams.
don't think so. I think Michigan is way more athletic than Purdue. I think that's the biggest difference between their bigs and the Purdue bigs. I think the Michigan bigs are significantly more athletic than the Purdue ones. So whether that becomes an issue when they play, we'll see. Maybe Braden Smith's good enough to offset that, but it's I think the gap in athleticism is bigger on that front, like between Michigan and Purdue. Like, if you told me like I get the Florida front court against Michigan, I would feel a lot better than how I would feel if I got the Purdue bigs. Like Daniel Jacobson
I don't know how you can even
against
say
the
that
Michigan
about
front
Florida
court is
right
not a
now,
fair
though.
fight. It's just not going to happen that way. So like I I don't know. So we won't know until we see him play. But I would take the Michigan bigs over the Purdue bigs today, if given the choice.
Yeah, but
And
I
again,
would
we just
definitely take
like I don't
Purdue's.
know how
I
Purdue's
would
going to
take
defend
Purdue.
them. I think Purdue will be able to score, but I don't know how Purdue like just watching Braden Smith and Fletcher Lawyer and Trey Kaufman Ren to that extent, like have to defend some of those guys. It's a tough assignment for them. So we'll see.
Oh, where'd he go? Um, well, this is awkward, but yeah, I mean, he makes. I don't know where he went. I'm gonna text him real quick, but oh, there he is. There you
Yeah,
are.
Jacob interfered to cut me
Oh,
off,
hold on.
probably
My
from
thing's doing the sound thing. I gotta leave and come back real quick.
yeah. I was on my soapbox campaigning hard for the Michigan bigs over the Purdue bigs there, and Jacob probably heard that and interfered with my connection there or something. Would have chalked that up to Purdue slander, but yeah, ultimately not the case. So yeah, but yeah, give me Michigan over Purdue. I just need to see way more on the defensive front from Purdue before I consider them on Michigan's level right now. And I know that will probably be an unpopular take to most, but yeah, that's
Definitely
just
to
kind of
Jacob.
how it looks. Yeah, well, Jacob will probably, yeah, like I he would have quite a bit to say if he
I
were
mean,
in here, but
Purdue definitely has like the better backcourt than Michigan, and like that's like I don't know if Michigan has the guards that can like get out on the perimeter and like stop Braden Smith and Fletcher Lawyer. Like, so I mean, I do think it's definitely like a clash of styles, but like I would definitely take Purdue's backcourt in that situation. So
yeah, that's fair.
no.
Yeah, I don't follow you for that one. So, um, yeah,
But I'm not
we'll
saying
see.
I disagree with you. Like right now, if you told me like who I'm picking in that game, like yeah, it'd be Michigan.
Yeah, it'd have to be.
Um, but yeah, the Big Ten man is, and I know me and you aren't. I mean, I'm not really like a conference pride guy anyway, but I know we like to get our jokes in about the Big Ten. But
Yeah,
this is
might not be a
definitely
conference proud guy, but I'm not a Big Ten guy. So
No, you're a conference pride guy. You could say it.
More so, yeah. I mean, not like I'm not going to like when they get to the NCAA tournament. I think it's different for football than basketball. I despise Big Ten football significantly more than Big Ten basketball. And I don't hate Big Ten basketball, but yeah, it just means more in certain areas,
By the way, like that's I'm like like and all the craziness with football that happened and stuff. How insane is it that game day is going to Georgia Bama over number 1 versus number 2 on Saturday?
It's not
That
insane because that's what they've done all season, so they do not care.
but we haven't
And
had number 1 versus number 2 all season. And you're like, no, we're going to Bama, Georgia. I mean, they went to Oregon, Penn State over Bama, Georgia earlier this year.
mhm.
Like,
I don't know. I just get the vibe that they don't want to go where the Fox crew's going. So
but
I
they've
don't
done
know.
that this year. Like they just went to
They did.
Michigan,
They just
Ohio
did.
State.
Yeah, and I just get the vibe that they're like, no, we're not doing that again. So I don't know. Like, but yeah, it's I don't know. They just are. Everyone knows their allegiances, and it is the SEC championship game, and it might very well be a better game than Ohio State, Indiana. Who knows? So we'll see. But yeah, they're not beating the allegations anytime soon.
I mean, the stakes definitely aren't as high because, like, I mean, like you got number 1 versus number 2 versus like the SEC championship game. Like, what? Like, Bama wins this thing. Like, they're probably not even getting a bye.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
Georgia's
this is
still
where
going
I
to
hate 12-team playoff because then like Ohio State, Indiana would be like stakes through the roof, and
oh yeah. Oh, if this was the 4-team era, like,
yeah, it'd be epic stuff.
oh,
And same with like Georgia, Bama. Like Bama would have a chance to basically eliminate.
out of left field. I didn't even.
Yeah,
I had my notifications turned off while I was doing the show, so I didn't like. I don't know if you texted me or anything. I didn't even know you were coming.
No, I woke up and I was like, shit.
Jacob, we were just discussing Purdue versus Michigan before you came on. Immaculate timing there.
Yeah,
I
mean,
how do you feel
that-
about like if how you guys match up versus Michigan when that time comes, and because probably the best 2 teams in the country right now, similar to football. We're the best 2 teams in the country reside in the Big Ten. I think you can say the same for basketball right now.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's going to be one of those games this year that you're going to look out for. That's going to be like one of those primetime games, I mean, just with the big man play, you have for Purdue, you have TKR and Oscar Clough and Daniel Jacobson, and then for Michigan, you have Yaxel, Adeyemi Mara, and everybody else. What it's going to come down to is guard play, I'd say.
And I did say that to Matt and gave Purdue the advantage in the backcourt. But
yes.
Matt brought up the point, like Michigan's definitely the more athletic team, and I definitely don't think Purdue can keep up with their athleticism. But
the X factor there is Omir Meyer, how he continues to develop throughout the year.
Matt got sucked into the lane train for a second. I was like, where did he go?
One thing that I don't think we discussed is this might be very controversial to some in this discussion. I would probably give Michigan the edge at head coach if I had to choose one. And I know Travis would also be, because he just did that look down of like, shit, how am I going to deliver this news?
Yeah, I don't know. That's tough. Like if like in a 1-game scenario, are you taking? Probably is in like. I'm not saying it's like overall as a head coach as like a program builder and stuff, but like in just like a 1-game like X's and O's scenario, like yeah, I'd probably take Dusty over Painter, but I know Jacob's gonna fight back on that, but as you should. But
yeah, it'd be weird if you didn't,
Because I feel like Dusty May, like he's good at getting talent together, but I don't know. I don't know if he's there yet as a head coach.
Well, he got Florida
Especially in
Atlantic
this
to the
scenario.
Final Four.
Yeah.
Counterpoint.
He did beat FDU in the tournament.
Yeah, he got a really that was one of those brackets. It's like just like what?
He did do one thing that Matt Pater couldn't, and he took down Fairleigh Dickinson.
Yeah,
I mean,
fun
I'm
times
surprised
there.
Jacob didn't get more defensive over that one. But
that whole team, like, I mean, Purdue overperformed that year, so like, I really that
overperformed.
loss doesn't. Yeah, we were like we weren't in the top 25 at the start of the year.
Yeah, it's true. They were unranked going into the season, I think, and then they got that one seed.
It was
Yeah,
Zachy, and then we had freshman guard, so that we were bound. I don't think we were ever a Final Four team truly. So,
Well, since you joined, we hadn't moved on, but like, did you have anything you wanted to add on Gonzaga, Michigan, and Gonzaga or Michigan just throttling the Zags?
yeah, I feel like that was a dominant performance. I'm not that high on Gonzaga, to be honest. Like, in addition to, it's just one of those things where Michigan's the deeper team. It's 3 straight days, and I just like Michigan or Gonzaga didn't really have the prep time. Michigan's gonna or Gonzaga doesn't have the prep time, but Michigan in that scenario they are going to dominate 10 out of 10 times. They are the deeper team by far.
Matt, you're something of a Gonzaga fan. Like I know you've always liked Gonzaga. But
always been a supporter of the Zags.
Did this like lower your expectations for that Gonzaga team or anything? Like do you feel like less optimistic about them coming out of this game?
No, I do not personally feel worse about them. Again, they played a horrible game. Griamike did not score a point. That's not going to be something that happens very often. I think, some of the stuff that they had going for them kind of went against them. This one, Michigan kind of pulled some of their own stunts against them in this game and some of their actions they use offensively. And credit Michigan. They got some great looks and they buried them. They just knocked everything down. And I do think from Gonzaga's standpoint, I do think they are a deep team. They're very physically imposing. They're old. They're just a veteran built team, and they're built for March. And I think that they're going to need a lot more from the guards than what they got in that Michigan game. And that's a team in Gonzaga that played really well before that Michigan game. I'm not ready to completely jump off because of that one game. That's a team that should be in contention for, one of the top 8 seeds in the NCAA tournament. So, yeah, and, St. Mary's is awful so far here. And
they got throttled by Vandy the other day, which I did not see coming.
They don't look good, and the conference itself does not look particularly strong. So I think that's a team that's going to probably be in position to, if not be a 1 seed, they probably, as of today, are not, obviously they're not setting the seeds today, but, they're probably looking at a 2 seed maybe. And it's a team that should at minimum be in Sweet 16. So, we'll see what happens, but no, I'm not willing to write them off just yet here or anything. That's a team that is extremely well coached and, just has a bunch of grown ass men on their team. And they are not going to go quietly when it's time. So we'll see. Not when it's time.
The next game I wanted to talk about was the 3rd place game in the Players Era Festival, and that was Kansas and Tennessee. And big win for Kansas, 81-76. Not a not a result a lot of people probably saw coming, but um, one of the biggest takeaways from this game and tournament in general, and like I meant to say it on Tuesday's show last week, and after Tennessee beat Houston, and I forgot to mention it, but just in general, when kind of like looking at this season so far and players era, and like I think one of the most impressive players in the nation and most improved players in the country has been Flory Badunga, and like seeing the elevation of his game uh from where he was last year, where it's like he wasn't like he didn't really fit what Kansas was trying to do last year, and he was kind of like a liability where it's like he was just like an unskilled big guy that you could put down there and he could eat up minutes, but like he couldn't score at all. Like his positioning was like terrible. Like he was always in foul trouble. I feel like every time I watched them play, where he just wasn't a great defender and was always committing bad fouls and really just like wasn't playing like big minutes for that Kansas team and living. And I mean, he hit the portal like and like almost went elsewhere. Almost to Auburn again, funny enough, because he almost came to Auburn like out of high school and then almost came to Auburn after last year. But ends up back at Kansas. Which is kind of like a weird situation because they let him hit the portal and he came back to Kansas. And like that's a guy who was just like one of the biggest jumps and just skill and who he is as a player, where like he's big, he's athletic, like he actually has like and he didn't have his best game against Tennessee, but like he's looked really good this year and he has an offensive bag now and he's gotten like one of the biggest jumps, and like he was always like a highly rated recruit and like we knew he had the talent, but one of the like I said, just one of the like biggest jumps I've seen and biggest improvements I've seen this year is from him, and I wanted to give him his credit for this. And they got the win over Tennessee and took home third place in the Players Era and the money for that. But yeah, like I said, he didn't have his best game against Tennessee, but like I forgot to give him his flowers on last week's show, so I figured I'd do it now. And like, yeah, he's playing big minutes now and has an offensive bag, and he can defend his ass off, and he's like super skilled and like just doesn't even look like the same player that was at Kansas last year.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
would say that Kansas has navigated this stretch without Darryn Peterson really well. Just Bill Self deserves, I think people kind of wrote Bill Self off as like one of the like top 5 coaches in the sport after the Hunter Dickinson experiment went horribly awry and some of their NCAA tournament failures. But yeah, that's still a professional based team, and that is a good basketball team with or without Darryn Peterson. So putting up 81 on that Tennessee team is no joke. And yeah, I think that Kansas, this was a team that I don't think that many people were willing to put above Texas Tech or above Houston for, kind of Big 12 contention. And, Arizona's still probably the favorite to win that conference. But, yeah, they've navigated this stretch really well.
I don't think Arizona is the favorite to win that conference. I think Houston is. But
fair.
I just had to say that. But.
Yeah, but I do think that Kansas has really navigated this stretch really well. And credit to them. And that's a legit win. That's going to probably hold up very well because Tennessee is probably going to roll through a lot of the SEC. So that's going to be a win that holds up for Kansas really well.
Tennessee is the best team. I don't even think it's close. Like, I don't know who you trust in the SEC more than Tennessee. Like,
Vandy.
Month into the season or so. Who?
Vanderbilt.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah,
Vanderbilt's looking scary.
Yeah, watch out. I mean, they are very good. Vandy. That game happened Friday. They crushed St. Mary's. It is extraordinarily rare that Gonzaga has played St. Mary's for 25 years under few. And like, I don't know what their high score total, but Vanderbilt put up 96 points on him. So yeah, they're awesome. And Duke Miles is a legit SEC Player of the Year candidate. He hung 25 on St. Mary's, and yeah, Vandy, one of the best offensive teams in the country. Watch out. So I think their low point total for the season is like 83 points or something. So the question of who could compete with Tennessee in the SEC, I would say Vandy has looked maybe the best thus far. Bama's been the most tested of the group. Bama's had the hardest schedule. So maybe they emerge from that better off. But the two best teams thus far in the SEC, definitely Tennessee and Vanderbilt. Watch yourself for Mark Byington and Vandy here. They made the tournament last year, but I don't think anyone really took them seriously as a team that could advance.
This cat is so fucking stupid. She runs outside in the pouring rain, and like I tried to let her back in, and she took off, and then she was like back at the door, like soaking wet, crying. Like it's like, yeah, maybe don't run outside in the rain next time. That's why I had to jump up, and like I heard her at the door like crying, so that's why I had to jump up and had to run and get a towel, and like she's soaked, poor thing.
Goodness. Yeah, so Vandy, watch out.
I wonder what the over-under will be on the Alabama-Vandy game.
It should be like 175. Should be crazy.
I mean, talk about oil and water when Vandy and Tennessee play.
Yeah.
That's going to be a clash.
Yeah, that'll be
Tennessee, fun. Outside of Nate Ament and Gillespie, they don't really have a huge scoring option.
Yeah. And LSU might go into conference play undefeated. Not that they've played anyone, but
they're going to beat Oklahoma of last year.
Yeah, they I think Texas Tech is their only like challenging game on the schedule coming up before SEC play. And Texas Tech like arguably should have dropped a game to Wyoming.
Yeah, that would be wild.
Matt, you're an LSU guy. What's the state like with all this stuff going on of LSU basketball? Like
LSU basketball has always kind of been put on the back burner in comparison to the other sports. Obviously, football takes precedent over literally everything going on at the school. They are super, super into baseball. They paid Jay Johnson like several millions of dollars. They are going to make him the highest paid baseball coach in the country. They do not want like a Tony Vitello kind of experience with him. But no, LSU basketball, particularly on the men's side, is not like it. The resources are not the same as I would say the rest of what the SEC has for basketball, probably. But I know that they're really happy with McMahon as the coach.
Why?
I don't know. They thought that it was a huge deal when they pulled him from Murray State. And yeah, they were like, wow, we got Murray State's coach and he's, great coach, blah, blah, blah. And I know they felt really good about the hire because when they hired him, I think that was Murray State was like a 7 seed and they beat Todd Golden's San Francisco team in the 7-10 matchup because that was the team they were supposed to play Kentucky and then St. Peter's beat them. And then obviously Florida made their hire and LSU made their hire and the rest is history on Todd Golden and McMahon here. But I think they're relatively happy with how the team is now and the expectations aren't going to be like incredibly high. But because they're just not good. And especially after what they just gave Lane Kiffin no chance they're gonna start doing that for basketball or anything close. So,
Yeah, they got to give Kim Mulkey that money.
oh yes, of
Yeah.
course, yeah. Yeah, how about that fit? Lane and Kim Mulkey on the same campus. Yeah.
You think Lane's gonna be at like hot yoga with Kim Mulkey by the end of the week?
They'll probably hate each other. She'll probably like Lane will be like, "Who is this psychopath?" Yeah. She'll probably be like, "Why don't you want to sleep with me, Lane?" Or that kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god. Dude, it's been a fucking crazy week. Like we talked about at the start, man. I was like, I can't even get this football stuff off my mind. Like,
no, neither can I. But
it's one of the rare. It's one of the rare moments. Like, I'm having a hard time like getting through like this podcast, like talk about these games. Be like, what the fuck happened? Like,
yeah, but like speaking of Florida, TCU did beat them in basketball.
Yes,
Yeah.
I had that on the docket to talk about. We can talk about that.
That was shocking because Florida led at halftime, and then they're just outscored like 45-36 in the second half. Xavier Lee is bad.
He sucks. He's the Aiden Mahaney of this year.
Now, I will say, like, he played really well against Providence. He had a really good game. He had a really good bounce back game after the TCU game. But that was another one where, like, he did not hold up physically. And that's another team. TCU has men like David Punch and Brock Harding, who transferred from Iowa, who had been yelled at by Fran McCaffrey for years. Has unleashing his anger on the court here now. They got, like 21 from Jace Posey off the bench in like 15 minutes. And they just took it to Florida. It was the bigs were good.
Florida's backcourt is fucking terrible. Yes, and like this was the concern at the start of the year. It's like you run this like ball screen dribble handoff system, and you have like a guy, like I said at the start of the year, like Walter Clayton Jr., who can hit these circus shots. And I mean, like their backcourt, even besides Walter Clayton, was incredible last year.
Yes.
They have 3 guards. They had 3 guards on that team that are playing in the NBA right now.
Yes, and Xavier Lee probably will not be playing. Xavier Lee fouled out of the game in 16 minutes. Like, what are we doing? Like, and then Boogie Flam fouled out also. But like, I mean, come on. It's really like Urban Klavzar is the only one who can play of the guards that they have so far. And again, granted, they had a very good bounce back game against Providence. So I don't want to say that maybe they haven't turned a corner or anything, but that was concerning. When they like get pieced for 84 by TCU, they were leading at halftime and the guards were terrible.
Well, and that's the thing is like when you play this lineup that they're playing with 3 bigs and playing Tommy Houck at the 3 and stuff, like you better have guards that can like take care of the ball and that are because like if they're like if teams like if teams know like that these guards aren't good enough to beat them, then like they're just not gonna let you get the ball in the paint. And they're gonna make those guards shoot the ball and like they're playing with 3 bigs and like forcing Xavier Lee and Boogie Flam to try to beat them and like it's just not going well. Like their backcourt sucks and they're playing this huge lineup and like none of it is fitting together.
It's not working. Yeah.
Because like when your backcourt is fucking terrible and you're relying on these bigs, well, teams just aren't going to let you get the ball to these bigs, and they're just going to take them out the game. And like, then like they should be able to defend well, but it's not working there right now. I mean, like Denzel Aberdeen's a guy like that they lost to Kentucky in conference, and like they would probably love to have him on this team right now.
And I mean, I think didn't Florida lose 2 players to Kentucky?
No, just Aberdeen.
I don't remember.
You might be thinking of like Diabate went from Alabama to Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just a wild miscalculation on the Xavier Lee stuff because he is not what they have paid for so far.
Oh, he sucks.
I don't know why you'd pay like a 34% 3-point shooter from the Ivy League.
Well, and that's the other thing. Florida cannot shoot. They are not a good shooting team.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and if you're gonna run this offensive system that they run, you better have guys that can knock down these shots. And I said it in our preview podcast we did at the start of the year, where it's I didn't watch a ton of Princeton basketball, so I could look at Xavier Lee's stats, but I didn't know a lot about his makeup as a player. But we saw it with Boogie Fland at Arkansas last year. Their offense was better without him. He was not good at Arkansas last year.
Well,
and
he's not a shooter. He's not. It's just not his style.
But that he wasn't a fit in this offense because this whole offense is built around having shooters and getting guys these looks from outside and their dribble handoff stuff. That. I know I keep saying it, but that. How many times did they run that dribble handoff shit to Walter Clayton last year? That was their whole fucking offense.
Well, and it's was the nothing else is working. Fuck it, Walter Clayton's down there somewhere kind of offense that they had. So yeah.
Right, and you go from that to two guards who can't fucking shoot.
Yeah, but they got to do something about it. Yeah,
I'm shocked that coming off a national championship that number one more people didn't see this coming because I didn't think Florida was going to be this bad, but you knew that there were going to be some struggles there. Number two, I don't know if this was just whether and there's a lot of things to point at, and none of them are acceptable. If the people at Florida weren't giving Todd Golden the money he needed to go get better guards than this, and that's an indictment on Florida that you're not investing in your national championship basketball program. So if that's the case, that's an indictment on Florida, or it's an indictment at Todd Golden that he just did a horrible job evaluating the talent that they needed for this roster and to run his offensive system because he clearly got guys that guards that just aren't a fit to run this offense.
Yeah, it could be any one of those things. I mean, I think highly of Todd Golden as a coach. So I honestly, the prevailing kind of theory right now just seems to be they placed quite a bit on Xavier Lee. They have not gotten that to this point, and you are seeing the results play out on the court. So
well, it's the Aiden Mahaney situation from last year, all over again. Where you went from two NBA point guards, and then you got a mid-major point guard who had to elevate to that level of two NBA point guards on national championship teams, and he clearly was never a fit in that system.
And that's the thing. Mahaney just didn't fit the way UConn wanted to play. He didn't really fit the culture of the team, and I think they just had higher expectations. I think with Xavier Lee, this is just I think there's been so much. There have been so many great players who have come from. Walter Clayton came from Iona. He was one of Rick Pitino's guys at Iona. John Tondre came from Colorado State and did really well at Wisconsin last year. Tristan Newton was a two-time national champion point guard for UConn coming from UTEP. I think there are all kinds of stories of these people who are making the jump from lesser competition.
Janai Broom.
Yeah, sure. Just seamless fits. Graham Ike from Wyoming to Gonzaga. And then so I think people are evaluating this guy Xavier Lee is a veteran player from a well-coached, good basketball program at Princeton. Princeton has won NCAA tournament games when he was there, and I think they just thought he'll be able to make the jump, and he's not everyone. Truth be told, is capable of making the jump, and that's what kind of separates those.
But Jacob said it himself. He shot 34% at Princeton, and then you're going to have him run a high volume 3-point shooting offense.
So
I don't understand how that was ever a fit.
The portal did not make sense for them.
That's why the portal, it's a double-edged sword. You can get one of those guys that are top-notch players, but you could also get a bust that just doesn't have this speed to keep up or playmaking ability to keep up at the Power 5 level, Power 6 level.
Yeah. So.
Well, you guys want to talk about somebody who's not a bust? How about Cam Boozer?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Surely not a bust. Like on that subject, I, I'm gonna say something and I'm gonna say it quiet because like I feel disgusting saying this. I hate Duke, and you know that about me. I've always hated Duke. I fucking love Cam Boozer. Like I'm having a hard time like not rooting for this Duke team. Like I really fucking like this kid. Like and it's making me want to root for Duke. And I feel like gross fucking saying it. But I don't know. Like Matt, you hate Duke too. I don't know if you feel the same way. Like this kid's fucking awesome. Like I like
Yeah, it's a bit different with John Shire than it is with Coach K. For me, I don't know how it is for you, but I think that yeah, it's becoming increasingly clear that the whole Boozer package deal was so they could get Cam in the building, and yeah,
well
it's
last year, I'll say like for like the whole Duke thing, it's like well, I had the built-in thing because last year, because like and I like Cooper Flag, but like it was Janai Broom versus Cooper like all year
yeah.
last year, so that made it easy for me to hate Duke. And like without that dynamic this year, I'm like fuck. Like, I mean, dude, I'm like I this what was cool about this game is like this is definitely going to be the most watched regular season college basketball game of the year because it had like the Cowboys Chiefs lead in,
Mhm.
and like I am so glad like all of America and people who aren't college basketball fans, like a lot of those people probably got a chance to watch Cam Boozer play basketball, and I mean he is fucking awesome. Like,
Well,
like
Cal went with the strategy of they're like we're not going to single or we're not going to leave any of these shooters. We are just going to guard this guy straight up one on one. And unfortunately, Nick Pringle kind of drew the assignment, and it did not go particularly well.
no, it did not.
Nick Pringle, very well traveled SEC player, but
Yeah,
yeah, that
35 and 9, 13 of 18 from the field. He knocked down 2 3-pointers.
yeah, that was
Like,
just like an infomercial to everyone. Like, here's how good Cam Boozer is, and um, yeah, I don't think Arkansas played a bad game. I just think he took over, and that's the difference between like Cam Boozer and Nick Pringle, who's going to be playing for like overseas elite in the TBT in the future here. Like like it's a tough assignment. Now, granted, I actually thought Kentucky played well enough to win. If Cam
oh, well,
Boozer,
Acuff was awesome in this game,
yeah,
too. Like,
and I don't think aside from Cam Boozer just going nuts, they're going to be better. I'm not really concerned about Kentucky when they get their guards going. They do not
you
turn
did
the
it
ball over.
again.
Or yes, Kentucky, I did. Look at me. Yeah. Habit, old habit. Yeah, but I'm not worried for Arkansas when the guards are good. They don't turn the ball over like ever. So
Well, I'm
that's
worried. I'm worried about one thing, and we talk about their guards and stuff. Like, DJ Wagner played 16 minutes in this game. Like, Cal pretty much took DJ Wagner off the court in this game. And,
well,
I mean,
DJ
that's one of his
Wagner,
guys he brought over from Kentucky. Like,
DJ Wagner and Carter Knox were both like either not playing or not contributing. So it was really only like Acuff, Malik Thomas, and Billy Richmond who were the guards that he wanted to go with. So yeah, I think that it's like they're gonna. I think they're gonna be fine.
well, Malik Thomas was bad in this game, though.
He
Is like what
was,
made it weird. Is he was playing bad in this game, but Cal just took DJ Wagner off the court,
yeah.
and like he was supposed to be one of the key contributors for this team. And I was surprised to see Cal. Like I said, like that's one of his guys. Like he brought over from Kentucky, and Cal like sat him in this game pretty much. Like he played 16 minutes. Like
If trades
that was
existed in college basketball, I think Arkansas and Florida would be making a trade in one of their bigs for one of the guards, kind of thing, because Arkansas is super guard heavy. They're not going to be able to play all those guys, at the same time or anything. And DJ Wagner, objectively, is kind of I would say the odd man out between, those three guards, Acuff, Malik Thomas, and Billy Richmond, probably will be playing in the NBA. And I don't know where DJ Wagner kind of factors in. But, we'll see if they carve out a role for him here going forward. Yeah, Arkansas, big thing for them. They just need to find a way to
You were mentioning
on defense.
You were mentioning Nick Pringle trying to guard Cam Boozer in this game. Fun, looking back at the box score that I forgot. So he fouled out in 19 minutes in this game, trying to guard Cam Boozer.
Nick Pringle is I think Nick Pringle might be the worst college basketball player.
Wow.
He's been on several different teams.
I think it's very important to note to the viewers and listeners, Nick Pringle did spend some time at Wofford, so there's a bias.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even know that, but okay.
He was also on Alabama, and he scored. I remember this when they played Purdue in Canada. He had zeros across the board. It was trying to talk trash to Zach Edey.
Tony Snell, yeah, type of stat line, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Janai Broom put up 35 on him when he was at Bama.
He had 35 or something.
Yeah, and then he I can't remember what I was about to say. Percy Jacob, sorry. I had a thought, I lost it. Cam Boozer's fucking awesome. I feel really good about my National Player of the Year pick.
It'll be fun if you want to transition to Michigan State UNC, because that's who Jared Wilson's going to have to, or Caleb Wilson, not Jared Wilson. He was missing for the Patriots tonight, unfortunately. Caleb Wilson's going to have to go toe-to-toe with twice for that Duke Carolina game.
Man. Duke Carolina might be back this year.
Yeah. And
Carolina lost, by the way, but
they did not look good. And they have a very similar issue to Florida, where they have a guard issue. Really, it was just Caleb Wilson and Visar who did really anything against Michigan State. They got nothing from Kyan Evans, who was their big Colorado State transfer, who was supposed to help the backcourt in one way or another, and he just got totally outplayed by Jeremy Fears, who seems to have taken his game to another level. So yeah, it's exciting times there for Michigan State. That's another big win for them, and to hold North Carolina to 58 in that game. Yeah, but they have guard issues also, so that's an area that UNC is going to have to address. But yeah, big game for Jeremy Fears, and impressive stuff there from Michigan State.
Like we said, it goes along to I had a sneeze. It went away. I had a sneeze coming. But yeah, we were saying earlier how good the Big Ten team is this year, and it's obviously I think that tier 1 is Michigan and Purdue, but it's that tier 2 with Michigan State right there, can't be that far behind.
Michigan State has really proven themselves so far this year.
I'd say I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say UNC is kind of cooling off after their hot start to the year. Obviously, Caleb Wilson's still a great player, but they just don't look the same with what's his name? They got hurt. Seth Trimble out.
Well, yeah, that was a big injury for them, and he got hurt in that or right after that Kansas game.
And Michigan State's just not coming out. Typical Izzo team, just kind of bullying ball people, and are shooting well too. So with that combo, that Michigan State is lethal.
North Carolina went 4 of 23 from three in this game. So, there's your answer.
Not going to do it.
Yeah, but this Michigan's in the Big Ten. We talk about how good the Big Ten is because we know the tier 1's Purdue and Michigan, and it's But that tier 2 of like Michigan State and UCLA, like, I mean, well, do you
Illinois.
agree? I wouldn't
Illinois.
put Illinois there after what I saw from them on Friday. That'd be tough.
Sure. Just rounding out some of those teams, though.
Yeah. I think that, like, do you put UCLA in that same tier with Michigan State right now? Because, like,
well,
I do not.
UCLA did not look great in their own
No.
right. Like, Cal kind of took it to them on a neutral floor themselves. And, yeah, I don't know. I'm not quite there yet with them.
but yeah, I mean, Michigan State's got to be right there. I mean, this, like, holy shit, like, it's been years, but Tom Izzo's finally got a team that can fucking shoot. They didn't even take a lot of 3-pointers in this game. They didn't have to, but, like, they got shooters, like, and shot 50% from 3 in this game. Only took 10, but went 5 of 10. But they did what they need to do. Like Jacob said, like Jeremy Fears was awesome in this game. Like he's elevated him, like his game a ton. Man, Jackson Kohler is just I like in a past life, Jackson Kohler would be at Duke and it'd be like the #1 super villain of college basketball. Because he's got like the perfect fit to be. But like this Michigan State team, man, like they can shoot it now, and like they're just fucking tough. Like we said it when they played Kentucky and beat the shit out of them in the Champions Classic, and it's like you had guys coming out with bruises and a dude with a Band-Aid over his eye, and it's like they're just tough, and it's like they will like they're not going to be an easy out for anybody in the Big Ten. Like they're like this really does seem like Tom Izzo's best team since that Final Four team in 2019, without a doubt. I mean, even though they went to the Elite Eight last year, like that team overachieved. Like this is a team that has legitimate Final Four expectations.
They should, and I don't think that they are as good as Michigan and Purdue right now in terms of like over the course of a full Big Ten conference season, in terms of like attrition and that kind of thing. I would still put Michigan and Purdue over them, but in a Big Ten tournament setting, I mean, it's going to be hard to pick against Michigan State against really anyone. So, yeah, that's a team that if they get the right matchup in their bracket, they are going to be super dangerous. So, yeah, I would be thrilled if I were a Michigan State fan, just as you said, because the shooting alone, that would be enough to get me really excited.
I mean, they've had nothing but just terrible shooting teams for years.
Yeah.
People that just lay bricks with their hands.
Have to give a shout out, by the way. We can talk about the game in a second. But did you guys happen to catch who the leading scorer in Players Era was?
I have no idea, actually. I didn't pay much attention. Did they get anything? There wasn't any incentive for that, was there?
Wasn't an incentive for that. But
thank goodness.
I got to get my shit in. Leading scorer for Players Era, Todd Pettiford.
Oh, all right.
He got his shit together. And Auburn, got a good win against St. John's. I don't know if that's just my I mean, it's a top 25 matchup, so I mean, I'd say it's worth talking about. But yeah, like obviously it was a consolation game there, but Auburn was down early in the second half. Like they were down 9 at halftime, and they were down 11 early in the second half, and Auburn just surged in this game, and Todd Pettiford took over this game, and Auburn ends up winning 85-74. I mean, whatever you want to say, like, because we talked about the Stephen Pearl stuff, obviously, this year, and, like, you know, kind of going to have a target on his back with how he got the job and all, but, like, he just fucking outcoached Rick Pitino and won a game against, straight up. Like, he was down and outcoached Rick Pitino down the stretch, and Todd Pettiford just took this game over, and Auburn beats a St. John's team that came into the year with Final Four expectations by 11. That was a super impressive win for Auburn, and for them to get up off the mat the day after that Michigan game and be down at halftime and rally and get this win. I was super fucking happy about this win. Kevin Overton finally looked a lot better. Keyshawn, like Todd had 27 in this game. Keyshawn Hall had 20. Yeah, this is a great fucking performance from Auburn, and to get up off the mat and answer after that Michigan game, I was really happy about this one. I wanted to make sure I mentioned it on here. I was proud of the resilience that they showed, and like you have to give credit to Stephen Pearl because I mean to go out and like be down at halftime and down in the second half and surge and outcoach Rick Pitino and win a game in your eighth game as a collegiate basketball head coach. I mean, that's anybody who still doubts if Stephen Pearl was like ready for this job and ready for this moment, like that shit has like I don't know how you can fucking doubt it at this point. Like it's going and out coaching Rick Pitino and winning a game not enough to silence some of that shit. Matt, you were one of the skeptics. I'll let
No,
you
it's
answer.
not. But it's like I don't think it is. For people will still bring that up, regardless of. I think anytime that Auburn loses, you'll definitely hear or see tweets from people like, "See, this is why you can't make that hire. He's just not ready," or something. Like I think that stuff will always be there, regardless of what happens. And that's just the nature of the job he's taken on. But yeah, good one for them. They finally got the best player on their team going, as you mentioned, which was something that they were not doing in the earlier part of the season. So getting him going is a really promising sign for them. And yeah, it was, I think we said last we were on here how, we wanted to see how they were going to respond to really getting the belt from Michigan, how they were going to respond against St. John's. And yeah, they responded pretty well. And I think the question now shifts to like how much trouble is St. John's in here? Like
A lot.
Yeah, defensively.
Bryce Hopkins was fucking horrible in this game.
Yeah. Like I think that becomes kind of the operative question now, going into the rest of the schedule for St. John's is, like how, are they really this bad? And they seem as if they are in a big amount of trouble because defensively they have not figured it out yet. They did not have practice time to fix the defensive issues in the players era, so I don't know if that would have changed anything for them. But it's not good for St. John's right now. They are, I don't want to say they're the most underperforming team relative to like where their expectations were in college basketball, but they're certainly in the discussion.
Who else would it be?
Yeah, it'd probably be them, or I mean, Florida's still not that bad.
Hanging on. Yeah.
But yeah, it would probably be them. So, yeah, it's not great. I would be shocked if they were still that bad by the end of the season because I think that Halia Patino is a coach. But yeah, where they are now is not good.
By the way, this week's AP poll rant St. John's is still ranked somehow.
Yeah,
at 23. That is fucking nonsense because they look terrible. Like
yeah. So yeah, they did not look good really one time in the players era. And yeah, I think they'll fix some of that. I think Patino's too good of a coach where once they get some practice time, they'll alleviate some of that. But yeah, it's not good. And I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt only because Patino's a coach, but the parts do not seem as if they're working to this point. So we'll see.
Man, I can't get over it. Stephen Pearl fucking snatched Rick Pitino's chain in this game. Like, straight up. Like, St. John's, like, was up and Auburn was in trouble in this game. And Auburn just turned it the fuck out, turned it the fuck on them. And St. John's could not get a stop.
St. John's couldn't stop the scoring options on Auburn in both Todd Pettiford and Keyshawn Hall. So St. John's defense, which was their calling card coming into the year, just not there at this point.
Yeah.
That was just a really impressive win. Like to get your team like off the mat, like down against a Rick Pitino coach team and rally to like and not just like sneak out a win. Like they scored 55 points in the second half and won the game by 11. Like that was just like I said, I think we got the right guy at head coach. Like
I mean, like I said the first night, you all were struggling the Bethune Cookman. I was like, that's just first game coaching struggles,
Hey,
you know.
you know who did not struggle with Bethune Cookman though? The DeVries family.
Yeah.
They took it to him. Yeah.
And I feel like with such a young coach, it's like the losses this year aren't going to be matter. It's going to be how much you win. You know, your wins. When you see your wins, that's going to be the places you see Stephen Pearl shine through. Like, and that's one of those that he's going to build his resume upon, beating Rick Pitino. Oh yeah. Also, just one more thing. Did you see Rick Pitino's tweet yesterday?
about the
and he said St. John's is a potential 1 seed or whatever.
yeah about Lane.
Just as I'm a potential suitor for Livy Dunn, St. John's is potentially a 1 seed.
He tried to sneak that in there.
What are we doing?
I have a team that could potentially get a 1 seed. Are you sure about that, Rick?
Scooter Braun.
Are you sure that team could potentially get a 1 seed, Rick?
Yeah. Going see now on Twitter.
I'm looking. Haven't even brought it up yet, but I did not watch any of this game, so I don't really have anything to add. But UConn 74, Illinois 61. Obviously, Matt, I'm sure you want a chance to talk about your Huskies, but they get a win here over Illinois, pretty easily. So
yeah,
like I said, I didn't.
The score was not indicative of how that game went. They crushed them. And this was their game from start to finish. They finally got Terrace Reed back, got him some minutes, got Braylon Mullins some minutes. He only played 10, but yeah, it was enough to really just destroy that Illinois team. So after Arizona beat them, there was a huge kind of element on like, oh my gosh, we can't be the less physical team, where Arizona really pounded them on the glass and just were the more physical team when they beat them. So this time around, I think that was definitely preached because they really just kicked the shit out of Illinois physically. If you look at the box score and you look at all the European players, they were clamped in this game and they could not handle the UConn physicality. Definitely not the best sign for Illinois here, because that just kind of reeked of the European soft stereotype, that kind of thing, because that was on full display. All the European guys for Illinois could not do anything. So, yeah, it was a real dominating game by them. They got decent game out of Caravan, which was nice. He defended really well. He rebounded really well. And yeah, the guards came to play. So they just were significantly more athletic and significantly more physical than Illinois. They executed better. And yeah, that is a very bad matchup for Illinois. They just do not match up well with UConn or that kind of team. So yeah, result was not particularly surprising. UConn kind of called off the dogs at the end of that game. But yeah, that was fun. And yeah, Illinois, that is not a good sign because when they play Michigan State, that's what they're going to be getting themselves into. When they play Michigan, that's what they're going to be getting themselves into. And they don't look the least bit prepared that they can hold up against that kind of physicality. So yeah, I definitely do not feel great about Illinois' prospects going forward here after that game.
I was gonna say Illinois just kind of looks slow so far in the year. Like every game I've watched them in, they just kind of look slow off the ball. Like against Alabama, for example, Alabama was beating them in the track meet. Like,
yeah,
I think it was the same with against UConn. UConn just kind of beat them up and down the court, physicality wise. UConn pulled away, and then Illinois never really caught up. They kind of made it closer in the end, but didn't really do much for most of the game. UConn just kind of kept their foot on the gas, and Illinois never caught up.
Brad Underwood made no adjustments, like one time during that game. I think Brad Underwood's a really good offensive coach, but like he is seriously arrogant to the point that there are some times where
did he call a timeout this time at least?
Yes, yeah. There was no 30-0 run, but yeah, it was just kind of one of those like, what are you thinking here? Like they just really did not deviate from the game plan they had going into that game. And, yeah, it cost them at times. They just didn't adjust really anything. So, yeah, curious stuff there from Illinois.
Yeah, I think that about does it for the Feast Week recap, though. Are there any other games that I've... Oh, we had the BYU Dayton game.
Yeah, BYU Miami was kind of close at times also. So weird times for BYU. And Dayton's a good team. Dayton's a really good team.
Dayton looks like a legit
they are
mid-major team.
Yeah, they should have beaten BYU if not for some shady officiating down the stretch there. They gave BYU kind of a phantom timeout. On one of the inbounds plays there.
I mean, Dayton had them trapped.
Yeah.
And like there was no like camera shot of like where the timeout came from or anything.
Yeah. I was impressed with Dayton. And Rick Pitino also tweeted that Dayton needs to join the Big East. He's very high on that for whatever reason, but yeah. So Dayton seems as if they're definitely, them and George Mason both look really good. So that should be another fun A10 season. So yeah, bit of a kind of sketchy couple games for BYU.
And ETSU goes to Dayton today.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Big Ten play starts tonight.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild.
Snuck up on me.
Yeah.
They do like those two games at the start. I'll tell you who has the most brutal start to the conference season, Rutgers.
Yeah,
they play against Purdue and then at Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 0-2.
Good luck. Yeah. Well, Rutgers should have won there last year. Ace Bailey had like 37, and they lost on a buzzer beater to Michigan. And unfortunately for them, they will probably not play against them that close this time around. But yeah, tough one for Rutgers to start conference play.
I do have one more thing I want to talk about. On Oklahoma State on Thanksgiving, after they played after the Duke Arkansas game, they thought they were going to play before Oklahoma State and Northwestern did, and it was like 11:30 in Chicago or 10:30 in Chicago.
Goodness.
Yeah, I saw them talking about that.
Yeah.
Did you see the promotion for the game?
Yeah, it was like
it was like Duke. It was like Duke, Arkansas, and then they put like a little fucking footnote at the bottom, and Northwestern Oklahoma State.
In Northwestern's home city too.
But we're gonna get some really good attendance numbers at some of these SEC games when these new coaches get introduced at these basketball games. So there have been some memorable coach speeches with some of these, most notably Signetti and Brian Kelly at LSU. So
My family.
so we'll see what we get this time around from these
I'll be
coaches.
I'll be there Wednesday night for it for probably
Yeah.
Golishes.
I'll tell
I
you
got my
who will
ticket today.
probably get the biggest ovation is probably Pat Fitzgerald at Michigan State. They're going to go crazy for him, I would imagine. So he's
Good
he's
hire.
going to get really. So I think he's going to get the biggest one. So yeah, that'll be, and Lane will definitely say something crazy when he gets introduced. He's definitely going to troll someone.
Is he going to do the fake accent?
No, I don't see him as that. Maybe he will, just to like kind of troll Brian Kelly or something, or be like, "Yeah, I don't have much of an accent" or something. But
Probably shout out Livy Dune in his press conference or something.
well, I could see like Whit Weeks being there when
he was at the press conference today.
Yeah, like so,
like sitting in Lane's like family section.
Yeah. Yeah, so those will be fun. The one that, and again, like I don't know if the fans are gonna boo Ryan Silverfield at Arkansas like, when he gets introduced.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how that's
the
gonna
crowd
go.
goes mild.
Yeah.
Luckily for John Summerall, Florida's going to Duke. So
yeah, really. Yeah.
Did you see the difference in like? I mean, John Summerall turned down Auburn to go to Florida. Obviously, like, we're gonna feel some type of way about it. But like, there were like 5 people there, like cheering him on at Florida. And then like somebody put it side by side with Golish at Auburn, and like the whole fucking town was there.
Yeah.
To receive him. So like, yeah, you made a good choice, John. Good fucking luck. And they play at Auburn next year. I'll be sure to be at that one, hopefully, and boo the shit out of Summerall.
Yeah, that'll be crazy. I can't remember the last time Florida went there.
If Summerall just waited a day, he could have had his alma mater.
Kentucky, yeah.
Coach, yeah.
Jacob is just insistent that he like would have been on his hands and knees begging for this Kentucky job.
He said at the Florida press conference today that he's been, quote, waiting for years for the Florida job. So
yeah, bull fucking shit.
So, well, if
Lane Kiffin told him to take the job,
yes, that he and Lane were talking about like which jobs they should, I don't know, but like, yeah, Lane was like, yeah, you should take it.
Yeah, what a fucking clown. We got the right guy. I'm sure Golish will be at the game Wednesday, and we'll give him a good reception.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we got games tonight. The first net rankings came out. You guys, I just like, did you guys notice? I texted earlier. They added that column for like non-division 1 games.
Yeah.
Because I was wondering earlier this year how that would be factored in for like Boise State, obviously, and other schools that lost to D2 teams, and they did add that column in there.
Yeah.
Shout out to Citadel in last place.
Shout out to Marquette, who is like greatly down bad in the net rankings. Some wild teams ahead of them.
Well, UConn goes to Fog Allen tonight. How are you feeling about that one?
This was the only non-conference game that they lost when they won the back-to-back titles. They went to Kansas, and Kansas beat them. So going into the season, I had scheduled loss for that one because that atmosphere is obviously nuts. It's the best in the sport probably, and I just thought Kansas would probably beat them going into the season. Now without Darryn Peterson playing and those guys coming back, I would expect them to win there, but you never know when you go to that building. So, and Kansas has played really well, so we'll see what happens. But going into the season, I certainly was like, yeah, I don't know if they're going to win that game. So we'll see. But yeah, they're getting them. It's tough. They're getting them when all the students are back now. Also, would have been easier if that game was a week ago or 3 weeks from now. But yeah, that place will be out of control. So it'll be fun.
Any of the SEC, ACC, obviously Duke, Florida is the highlight of those matchups, but any of those other matchups you wanted to highlight? And
I mean, you got UNC, Kentucky, always a big game.
Oh yeah, forgot
Tennessee,
that somehow.
Syracuse, at the Wireless Dome, at the Carrier Dome.
Might be the first time I've ever heard it referred to as the Wireless Dome.
Yeah, I was just reading the name off.
Yeah, Auburn plays NC State. I'll be there for that one. Will Wade had a kind of famous quote, I guess, if you're in our circles, but when he was coaching at LSU, he's like, "We got to go play at Auburn next week. They're going to be hanging off the freaking rafters there." Like, he's like, "That place is freaking crazy." So he makes his return to Auburn on that was a game I was a lot more nervous about a couple weeks ago than I am now. I think we should take care of business there, but Will Wade's a good coach, so yeah, I don't know. I'm freaking tired. I don't feel like running through a ton of these. We got the Beamer Bowl with Virginia Tech and South Carolina.
Wow, we're really scraping bottom of the barrel here. Yeah.
Yeah, we got I'm seeing if any of these other ones.
Clemson and Alabama, low-key good game.
Does Bama just always get Clemson in that fucking challenge?
Yeah, the football matchup in basketball.
They played in the Elite Eight 2 years ago.
Undefeated matchup, SMU and Vanderbilt.
Yeah. And he's going to put up 100 on them, I would guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm freaking tired. I'm beat.
Mm-hmm.
You guys got anything else?
When are we coming on again?
Friday.
Okay.
There ain't shit Thursday or Friday at least. So
Friday, Gonzaga and Kentucky play.
Oh, okay.
At 7.
I missed that one. Anything else you guys got? Or are you ready to call it a wrap?
I think we're good.
All right. Well, it's late. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll be back Friday. Watch the SEC ACC challenge and some other good good matchups this week, and be back to talk about them Friday. But till then, thanks for tuning in.